Chill, man. Don't guide. Kill a problem. The cute little. Gets wet. I was like the girl. Oh, I haven't gotten this before.
Welcome back, friends, old and new, to the next cassette in this anthology of nostalgia. Sometimes I wonder if this yearning for the past is going to result in my demise, but I'll keep blindly feeding into it as long as it gives me that warm, gooey feeling. Lately, I've been thinking about the terrible idea that I'm the only person remembering certain moments. The only one still treasuring points in time in which I felt like I truly existed to other people, as much as they existed to me, even if they aren't a part of my life anymore. That I'm the only one left that still remembers. Anyways, this next tape, let's see, is labeled I'm Not Her Anymore. It seems that this tape came with a trigger warning, so as a precaution, when you hear this motif, please feel free to skip to 10 minutes and 37 seconds to avoid possibly graphic content involving sexual assault and similar topics. It came with a tattered photo of what appears to be somebody tenderly staring at the camera, cozy in bed. Oh, has a description. It says, her face scrunches in eager anticipation for her next thought. She attempts to speak exactly, precisely, to dictate the words in the manner she strung them together in her mind. But often, she finds it best to express herself by putting her thoughts on paper. She always struck me as intelligent, but her wit cuts like a razor. And despite this ability, she's still able to come off as tender, understanding, even fragile at times. You could say she's made of glass, but she's been able to piece herself at every terrible junction in her eventful life, each time painting herself a new, vivid color. Let's call her a beautiful work in progress, a ceramic heart treasured by those lucky enough to get a sneak peek. Well, that's sweet. But whoever wrote this is fucking pretentious.
Sea otters. I love them. They're cute. They're happy. They're always on their stomach. They're on the beach.
I know it's Fred.
Oh.
I can see you back.
Does that mean it's recording?
You're never gonna get this.
That was the wrong person to ask.
What's your name? What's your age? And how often are you sad?
My name is... My birthday? Oh wait, my age? Don't talk about my birthday.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Okay, my name is Stephanie. I am 25 years old, and I was diagnosed with severe depression and anxiety, so usually, frequently, I would say.
Frequently.
Is that a good answer? Should I say daily?
No, I think you brought up your fucking birthday. I just want to rub it over your face.
The interview is ruined already.
What are some of your favorite words?
Words.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I tend to, want to be more patient, right? So, and it wouldn't be, my favorite word. I think it's just the word that's, most impactful in my life. When I get, really, stressed out, or when my anxiety hits, or when I'm really upset, that's, the first word that comes to mind. Just tell myself patience. So, this is my third therapist. hard. I think serious conversations make me uncomfortable sometimes. I don't know if it's humor, because I don't want to like make it sound like, oh, trauma's funny, because I know not everyone can laugh about this topic or topics like this, and it's like very triggering. I don't process my trauma that way. I think when I already like process my trauma, like I find humor in it, because I'm like, damn, like that was like another part of me, or that made me, right? And then I make like jokes about it. But I wouldn't say like I process my trauma through humor. I'm like a huge fan of therapy. But my other two therapists were like CBT therapy, which is you go in with a problem and an issue, and they give you the tools to like fix yourself basically, so that when you go through something again, you'll be able to do it better. A lot of the issues, or like you tell them your issue and they just like kind of like walk over it. They're just like, oh, okay, yeah, you wanted to, or you got in like in a bad relationship. Okay, so like how did you feel? Oh, you felt sad? Okay, so like sad is like a really normal emotion, right? Like that's basically what CBT is. But this therapy is very like grieving, loss, family related. So this therapist is like very sit down. It's kind of like a shrine, like what you would expect from a therapist, which I personally prefer a lot better. I think it helps a lot with like my day-to-day depression, my day-to-day anxiety. So usually it's like 20 sessions, or they want to get you out between 8 and 10. But this therapist hasn't had like an end goal for us. She hasn't said how many sessions we're going to have. So I think I'm probably going to stick with it like as long as I can. So when I was 16 or 17, I grew up in church, Pentecostal Christian, which, anything about it could be really toxic. And I had like a really good friend. He was like my best friend. We grew up together. And yeah, for like 4 years, it was just 5 years maybe. We were just like, really close. We would hang out every week, almost every day. Like he would come to my house and meet my family. He like put up Christmas lights for my family. Like this relationship was just platonic friends. And then there's always a line that always gets crossed and boundaries end up falling, like when you allow yourself to like open up new doors. And so I think 4 years or 5 years into like the friendship, it got very intimate in ways. And yeah, it just ended up becoming like really toxic. Like it just, like you find when you're young, I think I was like 17 when it all started. So from 17 to I think 20 was when like we were like very intimate. So 3 years. And this relationship that I had with him, that started as a friendship, remained as a friendship with the benefits of a partner, which was really confusing, especially like when you've never had a relationship, or you've never had intimacy ever before. So yeah, we got to a place where I felt like I had to validate the relationship by breaking my own boundaries, whether that was intimacy, sex, anything. And it was really hard, like as a teenager, because you find yourself losing yourself in that person. I found myself getting taken advantage of a lot, especially, in the like towards the end, because at this point he was trying to talk to another girl, but at the same time he was telling me like, I never want to date you, but like I want to marry you. Like you're exactly what I would want in a wife. And I couldn't understand the concept of like not being able to be in a relationship with him, but I would be able to be his wife, which is a longer term commitment. But at the same time, yeah, he was talking to someone else, and there was moments where like I was too, and he convinced me that it was okay because we've done it before, which is so dumb and naive of me when I was younger. But yeah, there is like one specific moment that I remember where, we were intimate, and I just remember like this like emotion came over me where I was just like really numbed, and I didn't feel anything, and I just like in my head I was like, I don't want to do this. I remember telling him, it was like more towards the end, and I was telling him like, I don't want to do this. Like I like don't want to do this. Like get off, get off. And I remember these words like clear as day. And I remember him saying like just like hold on, like be quiet, like I'm almost done. And I remember like crying, like tears streaming down my face. I'm like wiping my tears off, and like he like saw me and like put his head like on my shoulder so he wouldn't see me. Just continued until like he was done. I think when you're really young and you've never had like any partners before in your life, and you know you've never had a relationship, like a real stable relationship, you fall into relationships like that and patterns like that. Because I did find myself like in my next relationship just not caring at all. Like I remember when I started dating my boyfriend and like we would get intimate, I remember telling him like, I don't do pillow talk, like get up. Like really like passive aggressive and really mean and really rude. It was like so crazy because it's just that one person could really affect the way that you view love, and even like the way that you view yourself and you view how you should be loved, which was like really hard, and it was really a struggle to like relearn how to like love yourself. I will never give him the credit to say that I loved him because I didn't, but I definitely did want to be loved, and I think he was giving me things that I thought would make it love, but I just never did. I was very naive, like I didn't know what was happening. I think even to this day, I justify it a lot more than I should, because one really important thing that I wrote here on January 2nd, 2017 is, I'm embarrassed, but I'm more embarrassed that it happened to me. So I think just the idea of getting taken advantage of and just feeling like you're not enough for like a relationship with someone that you really care about, yeah, it makes you really naive in the moment, and even to this day, because it takes like a part of you that you don't get to have anymore. You find healthy coping mechanisms so that when you do go through something really painful, you know how to do it, because if not, you're gonna have that pain in your life forever, even if it doesn't feel like that on a day-to-day basis. What happens to you doesn't define you, I think. And as lonely as the healing process is, you have to be alone and you have to do it, because if not, like it really is gonna follow you for the rest of your life. And so find friends, yes. Find a therapist, yes. Have a good relationship with the people you love. But if you're surrounding yourself around people that's gonna drain your energy, or that's gonna affect you, or that isn't gonna make you better, or you feel more lonely with them than without them, leave before it's too late. Because you're never gonna leave. You're gonna get trauma bonded, and it's gonna hurt you more in the end. But that's my advice. Give your younger self a hug. They didn't know better, but now you do. So go to therapy. That's my advice.
Sorry about the tape distorting at the end there. I haven't quite figured out the nuances behind cassette care and whether or not it even works, so I'll work on it. Fortunately, the tape came with a little note. I feel like this might be a trend. The note reads, "To those who have loved and lost, it gets better, I promise. Find peace within yourself and your environment. You are your own biggest fan, so root for yourself every single day. Get to a place of forgiveness and love. You deserve nothing less. See you on the other side." Maybe Not Strangers is produced, edited, and scored by me, Andy D. Verduzco. Keep an eye out on my website. I have a lot planned for it. Some interactive things, some mystery, little updates, perhaps a blog. I feel like people don't do those anymore, but I am a man of the past, so. If you look in the episode description, you'll see a link to the RAIN Foundation, a fantastic organization dedicated to helping victims of sexual violence. Check them out. Remember, don't be a stranger. 'Cause when you're around, it's my favorite sound.